excuse me, the men Trailblazers to take on the Highline Thunderbirds. The Highline Thunderbirds are 14-5 on the season, 5-3 in division play. And the Centralia Trailblazers are 4-7 in division play, 4-15 on the season. We just finished with a great game from the Lady Trailblazers. We're hoping to come out with some good energy in this one, and we'll see where it takes us. And here we go with the starting lineups.
The Thunderbirds of Highline College and our host Blazers. Introducing the starting lineup for the Thunderbirds. A 5'10 freshman, number 0, Harold Lee. A 5'10 freshman, number 1, Madison McCaffrey. 6'8 sophomore, 3, Joseph Stroud. 6'6 freshman, 21, Isom Brown. And a 6'2 freshman, 23, Doug McDaniel. And the rest of the Thunderbirds, Mr. Chi Dawson, head coach, Dave Penny, Clarence Ryan, and Jason McBrough assisting. Now the starting lineup for the Blazers. A 6'3 freshman, number 0, Marciano Rogers. 6'1 freshman, 2, Calvin Edwards. 6'7 sophomore, 21, Patrick Broussard. 6'3 freshman, 23, Marced Farley. And a 6'7 sophomore, number 32, John Dumais. And the rest of the Blazers, Mr. Jason Moyer, Dave Clovedal, and Van Lockett.
Such a charming voice. All right. Now we're about to get this game going here. For the tip-off, we have Patrick Broussard going up against, let's see who's going up against, the big Joseph Stroud, 6'8". The Thunderbirds have some big boys on their team. 1'6" guy, 1'6" guy, 2'6". I mean, it's going to be a tough matchup for the Blazers tonight, but it's going to be hard fought, you can betcha. And the tip goes to the Thunderbirds. Harold Lee with the ball. Pass it off to number 1, Madison McCaffrey. Pass it to 23, Doug McDaniel. 21, Isom Brown. John Dumais with the great block. And it will be Blazer basketball. Kind of a hesitation there by the Thunderbirds, and Dumais took full advantage and got the easy block. Edwards over to Marced Farley. Edwards for 3, that's off. Long rebound in transition, Harold Lee. Harold Lee with the basketball, looking to get something going for the offense here. Passes it inside to number 3, Joseph Stroud, who then finds Isom Brown inside. But we got a double dribble here. And it will be Blazer basketball. So 1 minute has passed here. Zip, zip. As we have Calvin Edwards bringing up the basketball for the Blazers. Passes it off to Marced Farley. Finds Broussard at the high post. Faces up, finds Dumais for 3. Dumais hits, and we know he can hit. He hits for 3, the Blazers 3, the Thunderbirds 0. And a quick foul there as Harold Lee begins to drive in the lane. And I believe it's going to go on Calvin Edwards. That's his first and the first foul of the game. And out of bounds, the Highline Thunderbirds will take it. Ends up in the hands of Harold Lee. And then to number 23, Doug McDaniel for 3. That's off. But then he ends up with the basketball off the offensive rebound. The rebound by Marcy Rogers brings up the basketball for the Blazers. Looking for the open man. Finds Farley, who finds Patrick. Edwards. John Dumais at the corner. Coach wanting more crisp passes. Edwards gives it in to Broussard, who finds his shot blocked. And that will stay Blazer ball through the aggressive fighting for it. Condale Scott setting to check in, spark plug himself. He's going to get some momentum going for the Blazers. He's in for number 2, Calvin Edwards. We call him here at broadcasting, we call him the spark plug because that's just what he does. Puts up points in a hurry. Condell Scott with the ball. Trying to run the set here. Swings it to Farley. Swings it to Marcy Rogers. Then with the shot is Marcin Farley, but it is no good from 3 as the shot clock ran out of time. Harold Lee hands it off to 23. Drives it in, kicks it back out. Finds a Madison McCaffrey's hands and back to Lee. Some good defense here by the Blazers so far. The 2-3 zones working well for him. Finds number 1, who dribbles and finds his shot blocked from 3. Nice block there by Farley. Some great defense so far from the Blazers. 17:30 left, 3-0 Blazers lead. Farley with the basketball gives to Condell Scott, who passes it off to Dumais, top of the arc. And with Farley driving the lane, goes for the layup. Pretty, but just couldn't go off. And we're going to have a foul. And it's going for Timberline. It's going to be Timberline ball. And the foul is going to be on number 21, Patrick Broussard. So my apologies, Highline. I keep saying Timberline, still in high school mode, I guess. It will be Harold Lee bringing up the basketball. Gives it to number 23, Doug McDaniel. Nice defense by Centralia, keeping the inside vacant there. Guarding tightly. Good talk, good communication, but they find number 3 inside, Joseph Stroud, and he gets the easy bucket in. I mean, if you're 6'8", you got to use that mismatch, and that's exactly what he did for the easy deuce. 3-2, Centralia lead, 16:35. Condell Scott with the basketball. Hands it to hands it to Marcy Rogers. Back to Scott, to Dumais. Dumais at the high post with the jump shot, and that is good. Dumais has all of their points so far. The lead is a 3-point lead, 5-2 Centralia, 16 minutes left in this first half. Good contest there by John Dumais, who ends up fouling number 3, Joseph Stroud, the 6'8" post. I mean, that would have been an easy 2, so that was a good foul by Dumais. But Joseph Stroud had the seal, so he is shooting 2. So far as 3 team fouls by Centralia and none committed by Highline. 16 minutes left in this ball game, or excuse me, in this half. And the first free throw is good by Joseph Stroud. Trim the lead down to 2. And so far, I mean, you can see there's a huge height mismatch here, but Broussard and Dumais have been locking down that paint for the most part. And you hope to see some great defense, come of it still, and you hope to see, I mean, the offense keep up as well. Dumais is really starting them off great here, as Marcy Rogers was trapped, and refs caught him with his foot on the line. A great trap there, great defense by Highline Thunderbirds. Harold Lee with the ball once again, setting up the stack play. 2-3 zone still for the Centralia Trailblazers. Wide open shot for Harold Lee, and he hits that 3-pointer. They take the lead, do the Highline Thunderbirds 7-5 with 15:40 left in the first half. Condell Scott with the basketball. Hands it to Marcy Rogers. Dribbles it, loses it, and fierce fighting here, and it will be called a jump ball. Great hustle there by Harold Lee. 0-on-0 that time, and it will stay Centralia ball for the side-out play. Calvin Edwards giving it to Condell Scott. Finds Dumais in the short corner, trying to dribble it out. He is trapped. Seems to be frustrating the Blazers with the trap. Dumais hands it to Condell Scott. There's 5 seconds left on the shot clock. They got to get a shot here. And Farley's off with it. And Patrick Broussard is able to tip it out for the offensive rebound. Great job by Patrick Broussard. Caught Joseph Stroud unaware there and tapped it out. The ball goes to Marcy Rogers, who gives it to then John Dumais with the ball. And another three, this time good by Marcin Farley, and they retake the lead, 8-7. Trailblazers lead, 14:40 left in the first half. Ball found high post, and it is given down deep into Isom Brown, right underneath the basket for the easy deuce, and another lead change, 9-8, Highline Thunderbird. 14:25 left in the game. Condell Scott gives it to Broussard at the short corner. Driving is Marcy Rogers, who kicks it out to Marcin Farley for the three, which is off again. But great hustle there, and Farley was frustrated. He almost had it, almost had that basketball. But great hustle, and Calvin Edwards is going to come in for Condell Scott, trying to switch around the lineups here, get something going, as it's been very tightly contested so far. Handoff to number 24, Jimmy Kuhn, to 23 for three, Doug McDaniel. That's no good. Offensive rebound goes to Highline. Jimmy Kuhn with the basketball, drives it and kicks it out for three, and that is no good by number 20, Ben Tukakovic. But once again, an offensive rebound ends up Highline basketball over here. And wide open is Ben Tukakovic, who took advantage of the lack of awareness by the post that time. And it is 11-8, Highline lead with 13:30 left in the first half. They're just absolutely bothering the guards right here, our Highline. And Marcin Farley gets called for the travel, frustrated. And they are really, really bothering the Trailblazers right now with their trapping and with their double teaming, and they know how to run this defense. But it's been a closely contested game so far. A few lead changes just already as Jimmy Kuhn brings up the basketball. And Dumais breaks up the baseline cut attempt. Great job by Dumais. It is Blazer basketball. Marcin Farley driving, kicks out to Dumais for three, and off just by a bit. Broussard ends up with the rebound, and he puts it in with a reverse layup. Great job by Broussard, but also a great job by Marcy Rogers, who hands it off to him. And for three, right back at the other end is Madison McCaffrey. You hate to see that, just back to, I can do you better. Didn't get back on defense, it didn't close out on that three soon enough. 14-10. But then another great play as Calvin Edwards gives to Marcy Rogers right below the basket for the easy bucket. 14-12 with 12:30 left, and the lead belongs to Highline by 2. They find it in the post, but the double team forces them to kick it out. Gives it to number 1, who gives it 24 at the top of the arc, who finds number 23 for 3. That's Doug McDaniel. And it seems like we got a sharp shooting Highline team here. And it's going to be, it's 17-12 is the score. We've got some stoppage here in the game. It seems someone has a scratch. John Dumais seems to have a scratch on his shoulder here, but they're taking care of it right now. But 17-12, Highline Thunderbirds lead with 12:08 left in the first half. They're taping it up right now for him and hopefully get this game back going. Hate to stop the momentum. There we go. He's all taped up, ready to go. And it will be Trailblazer ball belonging to Marcy Rogers. And Raylon Brooks is checked in for the Trailblazers, bringing up the basketball. Gives it to John Dumais in the corner, who takes one power dribble and kicks it out to Calvin Edwards, who then kicks it out to Marcy Rogers. And then they're trying to set up the play again with Raylon Brooks and Edwards. Finds Rogers. Edwards again. Dumais, great hustle there. Got to have crisper passes, says Van Lockett, assistant coach. 3 by Raylon Brooks is off. And there's going to be an over-the-back call on the rebound. And the ball will belong to Highline Thunderbirds. Foul's going to be on Marcy Rogers. That is his first, and that is the 4th Blazer team foul. 11:30 left in this first half. 17-12 Thunderbirds. Jimmy Kuhn is bringing up the basketball for the Thunderbirds. Passes off to number 10, number 20 in the corner. Number 23, Doug McDaniel, receives the basketball. They find short corner, but kick it back out to McDaniel, who drives the lane for an aggressive layup attempt, but it is no good. Bounces off of every part of the rim, but does not go in. Raylon Brooks trying to get past the half-court line and hands it to Calvin Edwards, who's showing off his pretty dribbling skills. Gives it to Marcy Rogers, who drives the lane, hands it, and then Dumais ends up with the ball in the corner for 3, and there's Dumais again. He absolutely is on fire. He has such a great stroke from 3. 17-15. And we have an out of bounds. It seems that number 10, Daron James, was found stepping out of bounds there. It's going to be Trailblazer ball. 17-15. Lead belongs to Highline, and 10:45 left in the ball game, or excuse me, in the first half. In transition, the pass was picked off, and it's going to go to Highline after the loose ball craziness, the chaos that ensued there. So, within half court, ball's going to be given in to Ben Tukakovic. Then finds Tukakovic open, but decides, but the good closeout actually by number 4, Colin Malone, who's recently checked in. But Tukakovic then finds himself in the paint with the easy turnaround jumper and uses the mismatch to rise above and hit it. It is 19-15, 4-point lead belonging to the Highline Thunderbirds. 10 minutes approximately left in this first half. John Dumais for 3 and is just off again. A little bit contested there. Coach Moore is wanting a little bit more spacing there. Obviously a wide open shot instead. Almost an alley-oop attempt there. Throw up to number 3, Joseph Stroud, big 6'8", who lays it up. So nice alley-oop layup there. Next time, hope to see an emphatic dunk. But there was a decent defense on the Blazers' part. Dumais in the corner with the basketball. It's to Raylon Brooks, then to Edwards. Back to Brooks again. Drives, kicks it out. Edwards drives the basketball, and it is fouled. It's absolutely clobbered as he goes for the layup. And that foul is going to be on number 3. That's Joseph Stroud, and that is his first. And that will be actually the first team foul for the Thunderbirds compared to 4 for the Trailblazers. 9:30 left in this game. Edwards shooting 2. First free throw is off for Calvin Edwards, and the score is 21-15. Highline Thunderbirds with the lead as Joseph Stroud gets a rest, big 6'8", sophomore from Seattle. Daron James comes in for him. And the second free throw is off by Edwards. It's very unlike him. See him miss both of those. Hopefully he can get his stroke going from the free throw line and in the paint. As Jimmy Kuhn brings up the basketball. Hands it off into the paint, but kicks it back out. Great defense by the Blazers. 23, McDaniel for 3, no good. Edwards skies for the rebound, and it is Blazer ball. Skying above the trees is Edwards, and he's quite the athlete. And it belongs to Edwards. Back to Brooks as they set up the offense. Malone. Back to Malone once again. Finds Raylon Brooks for 3, and that is just barely off. Dumais with the rebound. Great job by Dumais. Floater by Edwards, but that will not go. Just seems that the offense is kind of struggling here so far with the Blazers. Just need to get some open shots and get them going. As we have Jimmy Kuhn here, bring up the basket, who gives it in to, I believe, number 23 in the post. Excuse me, number 22, Martel Tyler Barone, who's fouled. Another thing where, I mean, instead of the easy layup, you gotta foul it. It's a good foul decision. Don't want him to get in there. That was Colin Malone's first foul, and that'll be the 15th foul for the Centralia Blazers. First free throw is good by Taylor Barone as Marcin Farley checks into the basketball game for Colin Malone. If you're just joining us, it's 8:28 left in the first half. Centralia Trailblazers host the Highline the Highline Thunderbirds, and the lead belongs to Thunderbirds 23-15 as Martell Taylor Barone hits his second of the 2 free throws. Edwards bringing up the basketball, kind of nutmegs him and gives a pass between the legs to Farley. Farley for 3, who hits a contested 3, but it didn't matter. The stroke of Farley came through on that one as they trimmed the lead down to 5, 23-18, Highline lead. And the ball is knocked loose out of the pass, and we have Calvin Edwards who goes for the layup on the fast break, but it is no good. Bounces off back rim. Like to see him use some backboard there. Backboard's a trusty friend. And there is Marcin Farley once again picking off the pass. And he goes for a layup and wants the foul there, but the layup is no good and no foul call. The Highline Thunderbirds lucked out there as number 0, Harold Lee, wasn't exactly ready for that pass, and it bounced off his chest but ended up into the hands of a Highline teammate. Number 21 in the corner, Ison Brown, doing some shell drill passing here, and they found the open man for 3, but it is no good. But there's Harold Lee because, there was no blocking out there. Harold Lee was able to just drive right in, grab the rebound, and just tip it right off the backboard and in. That's definitely first and foremost probably which, Coach Moore is going to tell his teammates. You got to block out there. That's fundamental. Basketball is, I understand that Harold Lee, he's absolutely everywhere on that court right now, as well as a lot of those Highline guys. They're really squirrely out there right now, and they're playing hard and aggressive, and they can just disappear with their speediness. And you can tell this is an athletic team, but you have to keep an eye on your man when it comes down to blocking out. And that can be confusing sometimes with the 2-3 zone, but you just have to pick a man and, get your butt into him and block him out and get the easy, not the easy, but get the rebound. Offensive rebounds are huge, especially at this level. You can't let them have that second chance. You see Coach Moore's drawing up a play for him. And some options maybe in their continuity plays as why they're kind of settling for driving and not taking what they get out of the plays, because the execution is not really what Coach Moore is wanting to see right now. He's wanting to see better execution out of the play, and he's trying to clear it up on how he would like it ran for him, as the Highline Thunderbirds are looking pretty sweet here so far. But the Blazers are working hard as well. The odds are definitely, a little bit stacked as far as the on paper, but you can't underestimate that Blazer heart. That's for sure. Marcin Farley with the basketball, trying to get it around. Edwards ends up with it. Dumais finds Brooks, and Brooks finds Marcy, finds Edwards for 3, and he hits it in the corner. That was a great inside-out play, and Edwards hits the 3, and it's 25-21, Highline lead, 6:38 left in the first half. Harold Lee drives the basketball with, a very finesse, athletic layup. Almost seemed like his hand was down to his knees there, and then he brought it back up and used the backboard quite well. 27-21, Highline lead, Blazers basketball. Raylon Brooks with the ball. John Dumais finds Marcin Farley for 3, and it's way off. Used the dribble to reestablish himself. He might have been not squared up exactly on the rim, so. Ison Brown then finds Madison McCaffney, who pump fakes and gets him for it. Then finds number 22, Martell Taylor Barone for 3, and that's going to make it a 9-point lead for the Highline Thunderbirds, 30-21, 5:45 left in this first half. Calvin Edwards with the ball gives it to Marcin Farley to Raylon Brooks. Trying to look inside. There we go. We find John Dumais with the basketball. at the high post, but the free throw jumper is off. And we have Harold Lee up at the top of the arc, who then drives it around and finds Asan Brown for another free throw jumper, but that one is off. Finds Dumais, who then does a great pass. That is just a wonderful fast break. Dumais with the volleyball pass still in the air to Marciano Rogers, who gets the wide open layup. Just a great play there, great fast break execution, especially by Dumais. 30-23, 5 minutes left in this game. Make that 32-23 as Taylor Barone, that's Doug McDaniel once again doing work there. And he's been doing some great things for the Highline Thunderbirds. He's been able to show his stroke from deep, and he's driven the lane quite a few times already. He's gotten some easy buckets, so you're going to see a lot more from him. Dumais pulls up for three and hits it. Dumais is he's something else. I tell you what, that stroke from three is absolutely something else. When he does not hesitate and he takes that shot, you can bet 9 times out of 10 that's going in. And the lead still belongs to the Highline Thunderbirds, 32-26, 4:15 left. The shot is off. Offensive rebound goes to Barone, but he is not able to connect on the putback, and it will go to the Trailblazers. Marcy Rogers is able to draw the foul as he drives the lane, goes for the layup there. Kind of faked him out with the pivot. And he will be shooting two. 4:01 left in this first half, 32-26. The Highline Thunderbirds having the lead, and they're almost going to have a completely new lineup here as we have Marcy Rogers shooting two. That free throw is off by Marcy Rogers, kind of a unorthodox free throw attempt there. Seems like he just didn't have the hand on the spin on the ball. So we have 4 new Highline players in, almost a completely new lineup. And the second shot is good by Rogers, and that seems like that form is his free throw. So, I mean, if it goes in, it goes in. 32-27, the Highline Thunderbirds lead, and they have the ball. Gives it to number 1, McCaffrey, for the three, but that is no good. But the offensive rebound ends up in Joseph Stroud's hands for the putback, and that is good. 34-27, Highline lead. 3:30 left in this first half. Patrick Broussard gets set to check in the ball game. And Edwards finds himself kicking it out to John Dumais, who is no good from 3. But Marcy ends up with the ball. And there's Marcin Farley for 3 from the top. And it is a 4-point lead. It's been shaved down. 34-30, Highline lead. A pretty play there, pretty drive by Jimmy Kuhn as he flips it up and in with a little bit of a finger roll touch there. Raylon Brooks with the basketball, passes it to Calvin Edwards. Looking for a set to someone to get over here to get a set play going. Edwards with the ball, finds Dumais. And he finds Marcin for another 3. Marcin is on fire right now from 3, and it is only a 3-point lead by the Highline Thunderbirds. 36-33 with 2:30 left in the first half. Marcin Farley is bringing the heat. They dish it in the short corner, but kick it back out to 22 for 3. Hopes to answer back, no good. And great hustle there by Farley, who's doing it on both ends. Gets it to Edwards, and it is Blazer Ball bringing it up across the half court. Raylon Brooks hands it off to Edwards, to Dumais, swinging the ball here in the shell drill. And Farley for 3 again, trying to test that heat check. No good, but Edwards ends up with a rebound, skies for it with the good head fake, and he ends up putting it up and in, and that trims the lead down to 1. It's going to be 36-35 with the Thunderbirds leading only 1. 1:54 left in the game. Have some stoppage here, bandage on the floor. Seems Calvin Edwards seems to have maybe scratched his hand a little bit there. A little bit scrappy there. As we have the Highline Thunderbirds trying to drum up some offense here. And, you know, the Trailblazers are definitely coming back as number 1 takes the three-pointer and might have even got fouled on that with an and one, but McCaffrey with the 3, and it is 39-35 with the Thunderbirds leading. Great 3 there, fading away, almost Reggie Miller-esque as Broussard goes strong. Attaboy. That's what you like to see from Patrick Broussard as he finds himself in the post, faces up, takes a power dribble in, and gets the easy bucket. They let number 1, McCaffrey, wide open again for 3, and he doesn't disappoint. And he hits another 3, 2 in a row, back-to-back, 42-37, Highline lead with Blazer ball, 57 seconds left in the first half. Edwards with the basketball at the top of the key, finds Marcin Farley for 3. Seems to be all 3s here so far. And Marcy Rogers finds Broussard in the paint, but Broussard is pretty much tag team there and has the shot kind of knocked away before he can get it up. 3 attempt there, no good by number 12, Xavier Johnson. We're gonna have a foul here and it's gonna be going Trailblazer basketball. And that's foul's going to be on number 24, Jimmy Kume. That is his first, and that's the 3rd team foul for the Thunderbirds. Calvin Edwards taking his time, analyzing the floor as he brings up the basketball. Passing it off to Farley. Trying to make some decisions. Broussard in the high post. Immediately as Clobbered kicks it back out. Now they're wanting the last shot here. Coach Moore's wanting the last shot, so they're running their set. Farley with the basketball, finds Edwards. Broussard looking to post up here, needs to get big. Farley there goes for the layup and draws a lot of contact, but no call there as the clock runs out. And at the end of the first half, it's going to be 42-37, Thunderbird lead. And Coach Moore is, you know, giving his team, you know, some encouragement. I mean, they're definitely against some big odds this game, and they're performing pretty well. They're putting up quite a competitive edge against these Highline Thunderbirds. They're not letting them pull away, and they're keeping it competitive. Got to say that. And so far, what we've really seen here is we've seen kind of all-around basketball as far as we've had Marcin Farley and John Dumais hitting from deep, and that's been really fun to watch for the Trailblazers. And we've seen Patrick Broussard even get a bucket in there, a free bucket, and getting in the post and playing like a big man like he should, as well as John Dumais. So you're definitely seeing what Coach Moore would like from the team right now, and it's very competitive. They knew it would be coming into it. And the Thunderbirds are also playing extremely well. They've got a huge height mismatch here, and you can bet they're taking advantage of it. But the Trailblazers are not backing down whatsoever. They are starting to get into execution of their plays. They've come into we got to figure a lot of these shots have been contested as well, though. So, I mean, it's been good D, but better O in some cases. As we wait for the statistics here for the first half to get you the kind of the rundown here, I expect to see some nice numbers from Farley and Dumais. All right, so what we've got so far here is exactly, that's what I was thinking, was 12 points from Marcin Farley. Let me see here. Yes, 59-56. The Lady Trailblazers won. So we're hoping to make it a sweep here for the Centralia men at Centralia College. As we get set here to start off the second half, your lineup here is John Dumais, Patrick Broussard, Calvin Edwards, let's see here, Marcin Farley, and Marciano Rogers. So the starting lineup, basically, is who they're going with here. And it will be Highline ball, finding the corner. Harold Lee, beyond the arc, drives it in. And finds number 3, Joseph Stroud, for the dunk attempt. But no, sir, they will not allow that here, as I believe they're going to charge that on Patrick Broussard. And nothing easy over here. And Blazers aren't going to let themselves get embarrassed here, so they're going to have Joseph Stroud shooting 2, and dunk attempt is no good. But you got to respect, I mean, 6'8", but you got to respect how easily it looks. Just an athletic man over there is Joseph Stroud as he makes the first free throw. Scorer actually makes the second free throw as well. Scores 44-37 with the Highline leading. Full court pressure here by Highline as Centralia brings the ball up court. Going in that trap defense that was so successful in the first half for him. As Edwards looking Dumais in the high post and finds Marcy, who drives the baseline but can't find anything as he's trapped there, but kicks it back out to Edwards. Finds Marcin Farley. And with 7 left on the shot clock, Broussard gets big and he finds his way into the paint, but is no good off back rim. And the ball will stay Trailblazer ball off of a Highline member's fingers. Dumais with the basketball kicks it out to Marcy Rogers. Finds Edwards. Finds Marcin Farley trying to look inside here. Dumais and both big men, Dumais and Patrick Broussard. Finds Dumais high post. Takes one dribble, kicks it out to Marcin Farley, who's been hot for 3. No good on that attempt though. And rebound, but the steal will go, and Patrick Broussard gets the dish from Marcin Farley. Great defense and great finish there by Patrick. 44-39 is the score with the Thunderbirds leading. 18:30 left in this ball game. Just a great look there. Great defense, never stop. Marcin Farley just doing it on both ends tonight. Number 23, Doug McDaniel, he's been wide open for 3, and he's hit a few of them. As he hits yet another one, 47-39, Highline lead as the Blazers have the ball. Calvin Edwards dishes it high post to Dumais. Dumais takes one dribble, kicks it out to Marcy, who gives it to Patrick Broussard. Broussard with another easy layup. Nice seal. He's getting big out there tonight. Patrick Broussard is great job, nice presence. And if he keeps doing that, then we're going to have a good chance here. Short corner shot from number 3, but is way off. Maybe got a little bit too much jump on that one to Joseph Stroud, the 6'8". Went way over. As Calvin Edwards brings up the basketball. Edwards has a little bit of sloppy pass there to Dumais, and it is picked off by Harold Lee. And they go for the alley-oop again. The lob pass, it is caught by Joseph Stroud, who wasn't exactly ready for that dunk and almost turned over, but went off of, I believe, Dumais' hands. It'll stay Highline ball, out of bounds play. It looks like a box play of some sort. They find McDaniel, but they throw it right. Actually, excuse me, I believe they call a foul there. Indeed they do. Joseph Stroud, the big boy, has his second foul called on him, and it is Blazer ball. Marcin Farley with the basketball. Hands it in, high post to Patrick Broussard. Almost not able to contain it, kicks it back out, and Marcin Farley is trapped here. And a wise timeout there by Coach Moore. Trapped and nowhere to go. And so Coach Moore is going to draw something up for him. Just talk it over. The Blazers are doing good so far. I mean, you got to figure they're coming in against a very well-ranked team. I believe the Thunderbirds are ranked 3rd in the league around here. So I mean, it's huge. This would be a huge win for them as they trailed by 6. 47-41 is the score. Highline Thunderbirds lead here. I apologize for that. And 17:08 left in the ball game. It's bound to be a great one here, folks. And it will be Blazer ball on this side of the half court. They get it in to Marcy Rogers, who then finds Marcin Farley, who then bounce passes it into the high post, which is Patrick Broussard. Finds Calvin Edwards for 3, and he hits. He skies right over, and just a great 3-pointer. 47-44 3-point lead for Highline Thunderbirds. McDaniel passes it off and tries to find number 21, Isom Brown, but it's just too much mustard on that one, and Brown was not ready. He was still in the air. Have a little stoppage of game here, but we will continue. Centralia Blazer ball. Calvin Edwards brings up the basketball. And Patrick Broussard is looking for that ball in the high post especially. He's knowing that he's got his groove going, and it's nice to see that. Dumais gets a high post free throw jumper just inside and hits the jumper, and it's 47-46, 1 point lead, Highline, and Blazers are cutting into it, and it's looking good. And they swat away the shot by 23, McDaniel, and it gets tapped back out for the Thunderbird possession. Harold Lee passes it off to McDaniel, who finds the big number 3, Stroud, and then McDaniel drives, and they call a charge. Great defense there. And that is John Dumais drawing the charge like a big man should against, the very aggressive Doug McDaniel. And he knew that McDaniel was going to be driving the lane, as he's been doing that all night long so far. So great read and way to adjust defensively. And it's Blazer ball. Calvin Edwards passes it to Marcy Rogers. Looking for Broussard in the post again. Dumais, but it goes off to Edwards, but Edwards is too quick with it, bounces off his foot, and possession's gonna go to the Thunderbirds. Just a little bit too quick there, putting the ball down, his feet were ahead of the dribble. And we're gonna have a 30-second timeout by Coach Dawson of the Thunderbirds. Gonna definitely talk to his team right now about, they've let this lead slip from them, and the Blazers are not letting up, and he's probably going to talk to them about some adjustments they need to make defensively, because the Blazers are just playing sharp. This is as good as you'll see the Blazers, that this is pretty tip-top shape for the Trailblazers right now. They're playing great basketball, and might even be taking the Thunderbirds by surprise, might have underestimated the Trailblazers here. So they're playing great, and so are the Thunderbirds as well, but if you give them a window, those Blazers are going to fight and crack into this. Broussard's definitely been playing well tonight. What we've been waiting to see from him is getting big in the paint and facing up. Not necessarily the post moves, because the upper strength we know he kind of lacks, but his face-up game is just tremendous. And so he's been doing that tonight, and good for him. Keep it up. Highline ball. McDaniel, top of the key to Hume, gives it to McCaffrey. High post is Isom Brown, throws up a shot, no good. Marcy Rogers skies for the rebound. Gives it to Calvin Edwards. And they're running it. Gives it to Patrick Broussard, who faces up high post. Led him a little bit too much with the bounce pass. Did Patrick Broussard, and it's flying out of bounds, and it will be Highline basketball. Jimmy Kuhn bringing up the basketball for the Thunderbirds as the Blazers get set in their defense. Number 20 found wide open, but opts not to take the three-point shot in the corner. Kicks it back out. McDaniel with the ball up at the top at the key. Finds number 1 wide open for 3. Kind of deep there. No good as McCaffrey shoots a 3, but first half he was pretty hot. As find Marcin Farley to Edwards and back. Edwards drives the lane but is trapped and is taken to the ground, and the aggressive steal there. Just nowhere to go by Calvin Edwards as Kuhn gets the steal. And number 20 possibly getting away with a travel there, gives it to McDaniels and back to Kuhn at the top of the key, trying to drum up some offense. Great communication by the Blazers so far. And a foul there is going to be on Patrick Broussard, a holding foul. trying to cover him just maybe a little bit too much. And that is his third foul and the second team foul tonight in the second half for the Blazers. As Highline gets set for their out-of-bounds play. Gets it to Kuhn in the key. Number 20 is absolutely clobbered as he goes up for the shot in the paint. And that is Ben Tukakovic. It's going to be at the line shooting 2. And that's going to be on John Dumais, and that is his second foul. Nothing for free. Nothing for free, absolutely. As we have number 20 who misses his first free throw. Tukakovic, you know, with a lead by 1, I mean, you definitely want to make it into something bigger. They're definitely looking to pull away here as he makes his second free throw. 2-point lead for the Highline Thunderbirds. 48-46, 13:50 left in the game. Calvin Edwards gives it to Marcin Farley to DeMay, high post, takes a dribble, and might have been fouled there, but goes up for the shot and no call. But in the ensuing chaos, Calvin Edwards ends up with the basketball, and it gets tipped out by a Highline Thunderbird, and it's going to stay here. Great hustle. Great hustle by the Trailblazers right now. Ball's going to be taken out by Marcin Farley. Getting in their offense, gives it to Marcy Rogers. To Edwards, nice screen there. Gives it to Marcy Rogers, who dribbles in and is trapped immediately, but ends up getting it to Dumais in the high post, who throws up a jumper, but it is blocked. And the rebound will go to Highline. Patrick there with some great defense, trying to shut down the big number 3, Joseph Stroud. They find Stroud again, but Patrick, great defense, but just too strong is Stroud as he puts it up and in. 50-46, 13 minutes left in this ball game. Lead belonging to the Thunderbirds by 4. Edwards to Marcy Rogers. And back to Edwards, who dribbles it in, takes a jump shot, and puts up a floater that is just short and off on the front rim, but it ends up back in Marcin Farley's hands. Great job, great hustle by Broussard and Farley. To Edwards' hands, to Marcy Rogers. To Edwards, dribbles it in, but back out, doesn't find anything there. Marcin Farley just kind of passing amongst the guards here. There's 10 seconds left on the shot clock as the big number 3 swats away another jumper, and then we end up getting a Broussard 3 out of that, no good. And as it is Highline basketball, given a number 1, you don't want him shooting that 3, and he hits it. Madison McCaffrey wide open from 3 in the corner, and he hits the deep ball. It's 53-46, and it is Highline lead. So 7-point lead for Highline, 11:45 left in the game. Some amazing hustle by Highline right now in transition, and they get an easy bucket out of it. Coach Moore is going to call a timeout as they've extended this lead to double digits, and these Blazers look tired. Coach Moore perhaps going to get some subs in because these boys have been in, this same lineup has been in for quite a while now. Just absolutely gassed are the Blazers right now because all transition baskets, and these Thunderbirds, they know how to play their defense, and this trap is absolutely deadly. And Coach Dawson has them performing it to almost near perfection, where they can just get them stuck and they have enough communication, and they get on the floor and they hustle. But these Trailblazers are not going to back down. They never do. It's just some great work on both ends. 11-point lead, or excuse me, it's a 9-point lead. Wow, WF West math right there, I guess. 9-point lead, 55-46 for the Thunderbirds. As we have just a little, I think about 17 minutes left in the half here. I'll take a look. But Coach Moore's definitely getting them set, and they just need to drum some offense, need to take their time. And but this Highline team is all over them, and that could just take the wind out of you. Excuse me, I'm way off. 11:37 left in the game. 55-46. If you're just now joining us, welcome to Centralia Coliseum. We are hosting the Highline Thunderbirds. And the score right now is 55-46 with 11:37 left. The Thunderbirds leading. Centralia Blazer ball. Calvin Edwards with the basketball. Dribbling against tightly guarded Hume. Marcin Farley. Running the play. Dumais finds it over in the elbow there. Elbow extended. Edwards with the ball. Finds Marcy Rogers. Finds Farley. Back to Edwards. 9 seconds on the shot clock. They got to get something going here. 5. But they throw the ball away instead, and it will be Highline basketball with Hume facilitating the offense. Hume at the top of the key. Everyone's moving without the ball. Great movement here to McDaniel, number 23. Top of the key looking. Joseph Stroud is, Patrick Broussard is definitely having a nice presence there defensively, and Stroud just is kind of confused by the offensive set. Now Hume forces it and somehow gets the turnaround jumper to go. Just barely is over his defender there. Somehow gets the turnaround jumper to go, and now they've extended the lead to double digits with the 11-point lead, 57-46 Highline Thunderbirds. 10:27 left in this ball game. And so Coach Moore here just talking over with his team, and I mean, he knows this is a tough matchup, but he knows that his team can definitely put up a huge fight, and there's Coach Moore trying to instill some energy. Definitely some tired boys out there right now. The same lineup's been in for, I believe, the whole half. Some gassed kids out there tonight, but there's no stopping. There's no breaking heart. Trying to instill some morale is Coach Moore, and let's see if that indeed did the trick. Marcin Farley hands it off to Marcy Rogers. Edwards with the basketball, elbow extended. Patrick Broussard, high post looking. Edwards to Marcin Farley, moving without the basketball to Dumais. Finds Farley over in the corner. And Dumais for 3, and that is just off. Dumais follows his own shot, but it is rebounded by Highline. And Hume ends up with the basketball with a fake and passes it off to McDaniel to McCaffrey. You can hear the Centralia fans here putting in their 2 cents, trying to distract the team, but that is no use as there's yet another drive and basket. 59-46 is the lead for the Thunderbirds. As we have, I believe, Raylon Brooks set to check in here. And Broussard in high post is found. Founds Farley from 3, wide open, and he hits it. That's exactly what the doctor ordered. That is back down to a 10-point lead here, 59-49. Highline Thunderbird lead and basketball. 9 minutes left in this game. Great look here. It's a great look there. Joseph Stroud into the little dish to number 20, Ben Tukakovic. And Calvin Edwards is charged with that foul. And it is second individual foul, 4th team foul. Tukakovic at the line makes his first. As we have Raylon Brooks checking in for Marcin Farley. Some well-deserved rest. Farley's definitely had the hot hand for the Blazers tonight. As we get our second free throw, it is good. So he makes the pair, does Ben Tukakovic. And number 5, Raylon Brooks, looking to get it in. John Dumais, elbow extended. Marcy Rogers pulls up for the jumper, not at the top of his jump there, maybe a little bit, absolutely rushed, but it is way off, and it's going to go Highline Thunderbird basketball. Jimmy Kuhn passes to McDaniel, keeping it outside, maybe trying to run some clock off. 9 seconds on the shot clock. McDaniel for three, way off, barely draws backboard, and Kuhn is able to draw iron. And he is swat. Seemed like there was a clean block there by John Dumais. Oh, they called it as he hit him. He must have hit him in the head on the way down, Dumais, and that is his third foul. And 23, Doug McDaniel is going to be at the line shooting two. And the first is good. The score is 62-49. Highline leading, 8:03 left in this ball game. As they're starting to pull away here are the Thunderbirds, but the Blazers are going to keep on coming. Braylon Brooks bringing up the basketball. Drives and kicks out to Patrick Broussard, gives it to Marcy Rogers, to Calvin Edwards. Listen to the coach trying to run the play here. Hand check foul. Madison McCaffrey charged with the reach on that one, and that is his first foul. Didn't really agree with that call, did McCaffrey, but it's definitely not worth whatever consequences would be arguing it. Calvin Edwards dribbling the ball in for the layup, and that was goaltending. Yes, it was, and the ball was on the way down. Calvin Edwards throws up the finger roll, and number 3, Joseph Stroud, is just so big that he is able to get up, but he got it on while it was on the way down into the cylinder, so they will call that goaltending. Score is 63-51. Oh, and Joseph Stroud with the emphatic two-handed jam. Oh, man, he could have kissed that rim while he was up there. 65-51 is the Highline Thunderbirds leading. And there's Stroud on the other end with the block. He is absolutely, he's just an imposing force right now. For three is number 20, Ben Tukakovic, but it is no good. Rebound goes to the Blazers. And Edwards bringing up the basketball, almost stuck in the trap there. Gives it off to Braylon Brooks, but then gives it to Marcy Rogers. Trying to drum something up here. Edwards, Braylon Brooks for three is just in and out. Great look. Just not falling for him. As Highline brings up the basketball, guarded tightly by Braylon Brooks is Jimmy Kuhn. Hands it at the top of the key to Ben Tukakovic. Jimmy Kuhn with the good pass fake there, and is clobbered as he goes to the basket for the layup. And he will be shooting too. And that is John Dumais. I believe that's his fourth foul. He's got to be careful here. He's one away from being Dairy Queened, DQ'd, I mean. And so they're definitely getting a sub in for him, and that is in the form of Marcid Farley. And so we're going to have Jimmy Kuhn here shooting two on the line. Some great basketball by Highline so far. I mean, absolutely athletic play. They've known when to drive it, when to kick it out. They're showing just why they're 14-5 on the season. We have two subs set to check in right now. We have Marcid Farley, number 23, and the spark plug himself, Condale Scott. And he's exactly what they need if he's going to, get that offense going. John Dumais comes out, and so will Marcy Rogers. And the defense is going to shift to man, possibly full court press for the Centralia Blazers. And so Patrick's going to match up with big athletic number 3, Joseph Stroud. That's going to be an interesting matchup as Jimmy Kuhn hits both of his free throws. The score, in case you're just tuning in, is 67-51. The Highline Thunderbirds lead. 6:20 left in this ball game. Condale Scott with the ball to Raylon Brooks, to Marcet Farley, finds Patrick Broussard in high post. Condale Scott in the corner to Brooks. Condale dribbles, hands it off to Marcet Farley, who then finds Edwards. Condale Scott for 3. Yes, sir. The spark plug, he's here, and he wants you to know it. 67-54. Thunderbirds leading. And hopefully with the help of the spark plug over here, Condale Scott, they can crack open this lead with 5:40 left in this ball game. Jimmy Kuhn with the basketball. Seen a whole bunch of screens over here. And we have a moving screen, a legal screen here by number 20, Bentu Kakovic. And you just can't do that. You definitely hurt players by sticking a knee out or, just moving around. And that is his first foul. That will be the 4th team foul for the Thunderbirds. Condale Scott bringing up the basketball. Hands it off to Calvin Edwards, dribbles, finds Condale Scott open for 3. Oh, there he is, Condale Scott. Another 3 back-to-back. And it is a 10-point lead now. 67-57, Highline Thunderbirds. And a very, very touchy foul here by called on number 5, Raylon Brooks, for reaching in. Wasn't even beyond the half-court line, just aggressive defense. Referee decided to call it. So we have number 24, Jimmy Kuhn, at the line once again. And we can't have that stopping the clock and putting more points on the board. It's definitely not what Centralia College needs, at least not for them on the defensive end. Now, if they could get some fouls, that would be wonderful. The shot is off, and it will remain the Highline basketball, but a great drive by Harold Lee in the lane. The Red Seas parted, the lanes opened up for the easy layup. 69-57 as Calvin Edwards pulls up for a jumper, short corner, about 6-8 feet away, and it's no good. Highline basketball once again. They feed it inside to number 3, Joseph Stroud, the big man, has his man sealed. Patrick Broussard gets the bucket. 71-57, the Highline Thunderbirds. Centralia College with the basketball here. Condale Scott's wanting to drum something up. And we have Raylon Brooks with a pull-up jumper. Had to fade away a little bit there with a taller defender. Calvin Edwards with a great look there. Gets him with the pump fake and goes up and under, but the shot will not go for him. 4 minutes left in this game, 71-57, Highline lead. And Jimmy Kuhn with the ball for Highline up at the top. Hands it off to Harold Lee, who then finds McDaniel. This double screen play is definitely interesting, to say the least. Getting some open men for him, but Centralia's been defending it well. Possibly a shot there by Kuhn was found rebounded, and Bentu Kakovic puts it up and in. Maybe a pass. It's anyone's guess there, but nevertheless, the score is 73-57. The Highline Thunderbirds lead the Centralia Trailblazers here at the Michael Smith Gymnasium. We're taking a full timeout here. Coach Moore's going to talk it over, get some rest for his guys. They seem pretty short-staffed here tonight. I mean, and they're facing a pretty large deficit at this point, 73-57. If you're just joining us, we're here at Michael Smith Gymnasium. Centralia College Trailblazers are hosting the Highline Thunderbirds, and the score is 73-57, and the Thunderbirds are leading. What we've seen right now is the big man from Seattle, 6'8" sophomore, Joseph Stroud. He's been a lot to handle for this team. He's just 6'8", large, athletic. He's already got a massive two-handed jam on them, and that's definitely that's a spirit breaker. Not that the Blazers would let that break them, but any other team, you got to figure. While he was up there, I feel like that's just one for the books. Up there, almost kissing the rim. Just amazing athleticism. So you guys are definitely going to want to check that out on YouTube and rewind. But it's just been a great game. The score doesn't really reflect it at this point, but the first half was very, very well contested. Ended with just only a 5-point lead by the Highline Thunderbirds. But with 3:30 left here, I mean, there's still a chance for these Trailblazers. They just got to get a lot of offense here and get a lot of stops. Trailblazer ball, Condell Scott, top of the key. To Marcet Farley driving the basketball. Gives it to Patrick Broussard, who loses it. But it's off of Joseph Stroud, so it's going to stay here. Farley inbounding. Finds Condell Scott, finds Edwards, who dribbles and drives and kicks it out to Edwards. Condell Scott was wide open, but great defense by McDaniel. Does not make the layup, and great hustle by the Blazers to get that board there. And they're going to call it jump ball. Great hustle on the Highline side as well, as Calvin Edwards took a jump stop to go up for the layup, and they caught him on the ground as he brought it down to his knees. And they tied him up for the jump ball, but it will stay Trailblazer basketball. Out to Calvin Edwards. Great catch. Quarterback like Condell Scott. Top of the key, gives it to Broussard. Faces up. Trying to find something to go here. They got to get something going. 2:30 left in this ball game. Raylon Brooks in, and the layup is no good. Very well contested. Very aggressive. As we have number 0, Harold Lee, bring up the basketball, hands it to Kume, to McDaniel. And I feel like they're just going to try to run the clock out while they can. 73-57 lead, 2 minutes to go. The chances for the Blazers are dwindling. And we have a loose ball here. Patrick Broussard with the steal, given off to Marcet Farley, loses control, finds Raylon Brooks, finds Condell Scott. And there's a foul there on the drive on Condell Scott is fouled, and they're going to call that on number 24. They're going to call that on Jimmy Kume. That's his second foul, and the 5th team foul for the Thunderbirds. 1:51 left in this game, 73-57, Thunderbirds leading. Condell Scott into the post, not necessarily his shot, tries to throw it up there with contact, no good. Thunderbird basketball, 1:30 left in this game, and I would suppose they're going to try to dribble this one out. This double screen play at the free throw lines definitely works for the taking time away. Now I'm sure there are other purposes for it, but it's for what they're using it for right now. It's definitely efficient. 2 on the shot clock. They just throw it up. And there's going to be a shot clock violation. It will be Trailblazer ball. 1 minute remaining in this game. 73-57. A hard-fought battle. But the Highline Thunderbirds are just intensely physical and intensely talented. As Broussard has a short corner jumper, but it is off. And there's a shot put up by Calvin Edwards, and that is blocked. And I suppose this game is going to be just ran out. As Coach Moore says, no fouls. And that's a sportsmanlike thing to do. 73-57, 30 seconds remaining in the ball game. Just complete athleticism. In the second quarter, we saw the Highline Thunderbirds just pull away as we have number 0, Harold Lee, drive in for a pretty finish. And Calvin Edwards is dribbling the timeout. And we have 10 seconds remaining here. Calvin Scott for 3. And that is no good. 5 seconds remaining. 2, 1, and there's your ball game, folks. Final score tonight is the Highline Thunderbirds 75, men Centralia Blazers 57. And what it just came down to was a lot of offense for, well, actually, excuse me, it was just defense and offense for the Highline Thunderbirds. They showed why they were third in the league. Huge play by number 3, Joseph Stroud, the big 6'8" post. He probably had like 5 or 6 blocks, especially in the second half. He was crucial. He was getting big in the post. He just did some great work out there, but that's not to say that Doug McDaniel, guard, 6'2" guard from Highline, Texas, he was doing great work out there as well, just drawing fouls, being athletic, nice court vision. Madison McCaffrey was huge too with his 3-point shots. Whenever you left him open, it was almost a guarantee he was going to make those like an ATM machine. So it just came down to a lot of productivity on the Thunderbirds side here. So we're going to give you some stats to top off this night for you. The leading scorers for the Highline Thunderbirds were Doug McDaniel and Joseph Stroud. Doug McDaniel was 17, 6 for 13 field goal percentage, 3 for 7 from 3, 2 for 2 free throw. And Joseph Stroud was 16, 4 for 4 free throw, 6 for 7 from the field. Just absolutely efficient, just insane. He had 4 block shots. He actually had all of the team's block shots. So 4 block shots for Joseph Stroud. He was absolutely huge. McCaffrey had 12, 4 for 6 from 3, and those were his field goals. For the Blazers, Marcet Farley had 15 points, 5 for 15 shooting, 5 3-pointers. John Dumais had 13, dropped 3 3-pointers, got big in the paint with 2 nice post moves in the layups. Calvin Edwards had 10, driving the lane. He had 2 threes as well. It just came down to there's a huge rebound differential here. You didn't see it in the beginning at the end of the first half, but there's definitely one now, 34-23, belonging to the Thunderbirds here. That was really a huge differential there. Just in the matter of defense and just how the Thunderbirds managed to get big at the end and really pull away. It was a hard-fought battle. But in case you missed the first game, the Lady Blazers won at home. They got a good victory there, close victory, 59-56 over the Lady Thunderbirds. So that was a great game to watch. And if you're just tuning in now, the end of the game, end of the night, the doubleheader, 75 Highline